South Korea just announced the biggest semiconductor investment in its history. Around 800 trillion won, about 580 billion US dollars, and it is not going where anyone expected. Not to Seoul, where Korea's chip industry has always clustered. It is going to a region that history basically forgot. One quick note before we dig in, I am sharing my personal read as an investor living here. But all investment is your own responsibility. And nothing in this video is advice. Okay, let me walk you through what happened. Why there and how I see it from inside Korea. At the end of June 2026, President Lee Jae-myung unveiled a combined package worth roughly 800 trillion. One for the Jeolla region in the country's southwest. Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix will each build 2 new memory fabs there. 400 trillion won apiece, plus AI data centers, batteries, and displays. The scale is honestly hard to hold in your head. Add in their existing commitments, and Samsung's domestic pipeline reaches about 2,655 trillion won, SK's about 2,100 trillion won. Each one is larger than Korea's entire annual government budget. They are also accelerating their existing fab timelines by 7 and 12 years, aiming to double the country's DRAM capacity within 5 years. So why there? Of all places? 2 reasons, and I will be candid about both. The official one is refreshingly blunt. The Seoul metro area has hit a hard ceiling on electricity and water and a memory. Fab drinks enormous amounts of both. With demand driven by AI exploding, the president argued the Jeolla region was the only place that could actually solve it, thanks to its land, water, and renewable energy potential. The second reason is political, and you cannot fully separate it out. The president and his party have deep roots in Jeolla, a region that was historically overlooked in Korea's industrial boom, and he framed the investment as a kind of historic repayment. He even quoted an old line tied to Admiral Yi, Sun Sin, "Without Honam, there is no nation." Whatever you make of the politics, it is part of the story. Here is my honest opinion. Politics aside, I think this is a good call, for one structural reason. Korea's best jobs are absurdly concentrated in the Seoul area. Roughly half the population and most high. Paying jobs packed into a tiny slice of the country. If this actually materializes a real chip cluster in the southwest with the engineers, suppliers, and families that follow, could be a genuine counterweight to Seoul's gravity. Korea has needed that for decades, but I want to be balanced because there is a real concern. Committing 800 trillion won is a massive bet that AI memory demand keeps growing at this pace for years. Memory is famously cyclical, and capex decisions made at peak enthusiasm have burned this industry before. If AI spending cools even moderately, Korea could be left with enormous fresh capacity, chasing softer demand, the exact recipe for a brutal down cycle. The nuance? Memory is a capital intensity game. Whoever builds fastest tends to win the next cycle. So aggressive investment is just how this industry competes. As a project manager, that is the tension I would flag on any mega project. The same bold budget that wins. The race is the one that hurts most if demand slips. Here is an angle I think foreign viewers will enjoy. Korea is so small that where the fab sits almost does not matter. Seoul to Gwangju is under 2 hours by high-speed rail, a shorter trip than plenty of daily commutes in Los Angeles or New York. Same small, dense, hyper-connected country either way. For an investor, the where is a footnote. What matters is how much and how fast, and on both counts. This is enormous and moving quickly, with construction targeted to begin within 4 years. And for my own money, I do not hold individual Korean stocks. My entire Korean allocation runs through a KOSPI 200 covered call. ETF and Samsung and SK Hynix already make up more than half of that index. So a headline this big lands right in my portfolio without me ever having to pick a winner between the two. It just reinforces what I have said before. Korea's market is in practice a concentrated bet on 2 memory giants and 1 technology cycle. This 800 trillion won commitment is one more sign. The companies and the government are betting everything on the AI memory supercycle running for years. So, part economic necessity, part political statement, part enormous bet on AI's future. I find the regional balance angle genuinely encouraging. I respect the overbuild risk, and I am reminded again how much of Korea's fate rides on 2 companies and 1 cycle. Above all, I hope this investment in the future actually gets built for the region and for the country. And once more, sincerely, this is just my personal view. All investment is your own responsibility. Do your own research. If you want more Inside Korea breakdowns like this, subscribe. And tell me in the comments, bold vision or overbuilding at the top? See you in the next one.